Internet you need? For lunch. They don't need? Okay, then no? No need. Yurahi went. Chloe, you need internet, it's okay?
I just need to broadcast the sound. But on my computer, I don't know.
What do you mean? You need the V's internet?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. Okay, sit. Roma chuji inji podong to so sonji kanyo ngonya. Ronsen chu kungon so tanje patsabla manamla so. Dip. Sasan dunga chendra che jinchen, nyarso me pon shiwa jilla so, semche tuand nyur the doncha na tamba nam jinin to tsar the so. Yeah, good everywhere. And I want to say, according to your compassion and according to your wisdoms, I would to say specifically your the great compassions you are analyze about causalities. It's a wonderful. If you to research, analyze more and more about causalities, I believe very much that you developed positive way, and surely you become more and more authentic, genuine, and humanity qualities, or how do you say, maybe more kind. Why? Because you understand the causalities. If you more to understand causality, you more care about the causality. If you care more causalities, then others is automatically happy. Why? Because when you're taking care of your causalities, you don't want to do taking any other's life, because you understand causality. You understand others. You never do some stolen others things, because you understand the causalities. And also, you never do the sexual misconduct, because you are perfect person. You never make the sufferings to the others. And also, you never lying. There's different type of the lying. You never do like this. And also, it's like you never give harsh word. And so on. That means there's 10 negative actions, and when you are stopped, then you are the really authentic. You are the genuine. You are the Bodhisattva. And therefore I said, thanks. According to your compassion, you are studying, investigate, analyze about the causalities. And yesterday we are talking about, this verbally and harsh speech. In the monk of the 10 negatives, that one is the 6th. And the harsh word is like, there are many different ways of the harsh word. I want to say it's like direct harsh word, indirectly harsh word, and a very cruel way to the harsh word, or it is like very sweetly and to give harsh word to the others. The harsh speech is, for instance, to make rude remarks about other people's, insidely, outsidely, unsightly, outsidely physical flaws. It is like kind of sometimes we have this kind of different according to our karma, according to causalities. And someone's very handsome, someone's very ugly, someone's beautiful, someone's ugly. That is kind of the our viewpoint or our point of view. But reality is who is the beauty, who is handsome, who is ugly, we don't know it. But some is in the relatively. And then you are like kind of the unkindly to calling or openly to calling the one-eyed or the deaf, blind, so on. And if you're calling like this sort of, this is maybe direct the harsh word, giving like harsh word. And you never like kind of the saying like this, particularly some is like a person has outside physical flaw. And this is not very good. If maybe we can to say, if you do it, maybe it's like all the times some handicaps, some has ugly mark on the outside. And maybe you give nickname and you criticize, you insult, and like kind of the ugly way, you just like say this, maybe it's other ones become maybe sad. According to the sad, it's like inevitable, according to inevitable of the causalities, very much dangerous for you. And you look in the YouTube, there is one couple, I want to say. The husband is a very, very handsome. And his wife is not that beautiful, the very kind lady. And then it's like, he's so handsome. But certainly, one day in the morning, she said, my husband is sick. And then it's like, first she thought, maybe it's okay. And he was in the garden or something doing things, then he's sick. And also her son is sick, and son is went to in the hospital, then husband went to in the hospital, and hospital and doctors, they said it's a critical situation. Your husband's sickness is really serious. She was shocked, and then it's like she went to there. The beginning is okay, slowly. And then he need to stay 1 month, 2 months, and then his body is rotten, And like kind of the leg is losing, fingers losing, and then it's like very strange, and all the face is losing. She was shocked, this kind of, where he got it. And then it's like he lost all leg, and in the jaw, or I don't know, this one, and one is like hand, and this hand, I think, is lost. I think 6 months or 1 year, he's paralyzed. It's an awful way. And then I think, like she says, like maybe surely he cannot to be alive. But certainly, hospital days don't say, now probably your husband is recovered, but of course it's not a normal person. And then he's getting better, but no leg, no arm, no cheek, and after it's like this, lost. Very, very, very ugly. That's amazing. When you see, it's like terrified. And she says, okay, and she continues support. And then she says, slowly, and he completely recovered sickness, the butt organ, like part of body lost. And then it's like his cry, he says like, now maybe darling, you don't need to come to with me. Go, you can to look your life. I'm like now, life is lost, and his cry, and it's like, ugly like this. She said, doesn't matter. I want to, until you die, take care. And then it's like, he's completely become like cute, it's warm, warms everything. But it's like there's no jaw, there's no apple mouth, very, very ugly. And then they made surgeries. In the back side, they cut some piece of his skin to put here and here, that. And then his face is become a little bit okay, normal. And then he become very healthy, but very ugly. And then he sometimes says he looked his before face, and then he's cry. How I may become like this? Before he was like this. Who knows? Certainly, it's become yourself like this kind of. Everything is impermanent. Today you are like kind of how to say, it's fantastic. You insult, you give a harsh word to others. Then certainly, I'm saying this person, of course, never did, but that's like kind of, I'm talking about how it is the like changeable things like this. And then it's like, who knows this? Then it's never you say them. Karma is inevitable, causalities. If someone has eyes problems, you say it's one-eyed, you nickname or you like insult, maybe certainly you lose your own eye. When I was in Ando, there's one lady, she all the time say, I'm blind, she all the time says ugly things, and certainly her eyes lost. Like kind of you wish your intention is become like really serious. And therefore, it's a harsh word, it's all the time not very good. Deaf, bland, so on, inside many different ways. Included the revealing others hidden shortcomings. Sometimes each individual people has, it's like kind of the hidden things. In Tibet, we have one king, he has a very ugly hidden, like kind of the defects. He has a small horn in here. And of course, he's a king. King has a horn. I think it's everybody's like kind of maybe say bad things. Then it's like each moment he need to cut the hair, he need to kill that one person. After this person took cut his hair, and then he killed, because he's so scary. Maybe someone's like my hidden defect short as coming out. And of course he did very much negative things. Finally, of course, someone's killed also him. And like this, how much we have hardened tried to. Sometimes in our bodies, according to our previous actions, what can we do? Someone has a lot of like kind of the hiddens, like defects, something. And this one is if you know, and you don't need to reveal that. You have this kind of problems, you have that kind of problems. It's better to do not to say it. Often like a safe talk of all the kind of self. Often safe is like kind of you offend. If you hidden some is like shortcoming, revealed this person's like a defect, and this person is become very sad, very offended, very much disappointed man. I make a joke yesterday when we go to the restaurant. This person is very kind. It's not a kind of digging my like kind of defects. It doesn't matter when I have the diabetic, but it's like very shortly to say, excuse me, do you have some without a sugar meal? This person has a very strong diabetes. I was a little kind of shocked, but in reality, no necessary. It is the truth. But like this, if someone has mistakes, is something. For example, some is like really some, even that I would to say is like some kind teachers, and when they are correct to the student, and sometimes in the privately to say you have this kind of defect, that kind of defect, you should to correct. And sometimes it's in the middle of the people, like for example, maybe there's 20, 30, 100,000. Then it's like the humans defect. They like kind of the digging and to say it's like this, that. Sometimes really it's a good advice. Maybe you are sitting there. This teacher looks like digging, revealing my secret defect. But that is not. This is like coming direct to us. Otherwise, it's like generally speaking. For example, Patrul Rinpoche, he criticized sometimes a lot Lama, but he never ever fixed this Lama, that Lama. He just generally to speaking, and Lamas doing like this, monks doing like this, practitioners doing like this. If someone's doing, and then are you saying to me like this, if you received this kind of pit institution direct to you, then okay, you can do take serious. If you're doing something defect things, then yes, you can do take serious, but not specifically to you like this. And therefore, even the teachers to reveal the students hidden something is like a defect. Never like says, pick up you're this person's, you are something like this. Very, very rare, very much rare. But of course, sometimes the teachers to do someone's they do. Why? For example, you say it's like your teacher and the students are very much close. It's like a kind of families. Then they do. Why? Because it's like, for example, you say it's like your families. Sometimes your families, children's like parents, children's, or brothers, sisters, like a kind of the really good families. Sometimes they like say, it's like, you have this kind of defects, blah, 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 but after it's forget it. And also it's like, therefore, you have good relations with the teachers. Sometimes direct, that means maybe this teacher has hope. Teachers has kind of the love, compassions coming to dig up like this. For example, myself, I'm all the time doing the mistake things, all the time. That is obvious. But my own root teachers sometimes are very much tough. In the middle of the peoples and shouting, say, look, he's like in the throne. Sometimes he's like holding again the Vajra. It was almost a throw or meat. But it's like when I check any kind of give information, empowerment, institutions, I don't need any kind of like to do something. I'm like kind of very proudly can go. Of course, he all the time give permission. He taking care very, very much. Then that this kindness is like this. It's once I went to in Tibet. It's Europe from there. It's my visa is finished. Rinpoche give you the empowerment 1 month, and 1 month is very difficult to finish it. But maybe there's a student, maybe few thousand students. But then it's like he was really hurry up to did like this. Maybe it's like in the 1,000 or 2,000 students, maybe only hurry up me because my visa is going to away. If visa is finished, I need to go back to Europe. But he hurry up. It's like before I leave, it's finished. Like you see this kind of, then it's like more touched. And then it's like a kind of revealed that my secret defects is, I would to say thank you very much. It's really appreciate, because according that, it's like each moment I cannot argue, I cannot fighting, I cannot say I didn't done that. Even sometimes he exaggerated like things, I need to accept okay, yes. For example, if my mother, my father, my brothers, sisters, if do like this, I may become very much angry. Why you criticize to me? I run away. But it's teacher, what can I do? But it's like this kind of them. And also it's like teachers is reveal the students' defects also slowly, gradually, never also do like this. Is very rarely. And like this, in the sanghas each other, in the others normally, even your brothers and sisters, families, friend situations, never reveal the others' secret, like kind of some defects, this kind of. And also, in fact, any word that make other people unhappy, absolutely. If you are like kind of the reveal the others the secret defects, then there's unhappy, absolutely uncomfortable, and then that is the negative. Even it is spoken sweetly rather than the harshly said. This sweet maybe someone is like looks like very nicely, but reality you are criticized, and it's like how to say it? And one is like in one Tibet Lama, he came to from India, and then he went into Dzogchen monastery. He need to go to Dzogchen monastery. Of course, the Chinese government, they stopped in Chengdu. They didn't allow him go to Tibet. Then he was a little disappointed, man. And then it's like the Chinese says, okay, you cannot go to in Tibet in the monastery, but in Chengdu we can do service for you where you want to go. We can to arrange it. He says like it's a wonderful things, wonderful your this hospitalities, hostiles. It's very delicious. I'm completely enough your food and your kind of the, how do you say, it's like sweet controlling things. He says like his English is of course fantastic, and then he say like this, but someone they don't speak perfect English, and they say what is it? Like this kind of sometimes talking about looks like sweet, but reality is the harsh word, and this kind of also is we need to taking care of them. It is also harsh word. Maybe we say it's like why we need to give harsh word to others? Not necessarily. Why? Because it's like if you give harsh word to others, you say it's like a blind, deaf, and one-eyed, and like so on. You can to reveal to others secret defect. Reality, maybe this person itself is maybe it's okay. Whatever you say, sometimes we say it's like, okay, you can do like kind of the give harsh word or the criticize. You perceive me as very ugly, but I don't care. There's nothing, maybe not angry, not offend, not disappointment. Okay, you can whatever you say. Maybe you give a lot of harsh word. Reality, you distort yourself, ourselves. And therefore, this kind of harsh word we need to take care. And reality, when we give the harsh word, which kind of the consequence, who is a result, negative consequence, is a giver of the doer itself. Maybe it's not a receiver. And therefore, if you give harsh word to others, taking care of them is like this karma return, negative like the affections or negative actions is maturated, and then there's negative results coming. And also in the particularly to speak often safely in the front of one's teacher. And this is like kind of the absolute truth. Maybe your own teacher, maybe it's others' teacher, any kind of the spiritual teachers. And also it's like kind of it's in the Buddhist perspective, even your tutor, even your in the school's teacher, and whoever give you some in the educations, maybe these teachers, sometimes there are maybe some secret defects, sometimes like this, then it's like better to like not give harsh word. That means it's like, for example, like when you go to the school, maybe the teachers are very learned, very scholared, but maybe itself has a very strange nose. And sometimes students make a joke, our teacher of the elephant is coming, now what he or she going to talk? It's You listen to the teaching, receive the education, but kind of the giving harsh word, and like this. And also it's like, yeah, the teacher says what it is. And also maybe in the future, so we need to change this very much mentalities. When I'm looking like kind of the scientific way, science, and there's some Greek science and how do you say Italy, I don't know, France, and some science, they're very famous. And he has one student. This student is a little grow up, then he's criticized his own teacher very much. He is discovered like this. I discovered much better than our so-called teachers. Why this is occurring? When we go to the school, and the teachers like the teaching job is like their job, and the student to pay a lot, and then it's like okay, you need to teach me because this is your job, and it's I paid to you, and afterwards we don't much appreciate. In the Buddhist perspective, someone's to give education to you, and you're like kind of the developed your wisdom, and like this is like very much needed to respect. For example, Shantadeva say, I prostrate into the like all the how do you say the suitable, and also it's like superiorities. Also like whoever told to me, all my teachers, even the someone's told to me alphabet, and he respect and he prostrating and homage to them and appreciate. Like it is, it's very important front of the one's teacher or spiritual friend. And of course, Dharma friends and the families is never ever say like this. The holy beings is the very grave errors. And also sometimes the, how do you say, the holy means is like for the other's perspective, someone is maybe is a very holy, very important person. Maybe thousands, millions people respect. Maybe sometimes we are some individual hesitated things. Maybe we are criticize this person. It's a very much bad things. Why you can to say? And because it's like we can to share, we can to take example. If there is like 100 peoples, and 99 persons, maybe one person's love very much, they follow, they respect. For this person is for the 99 persons like kind of source of refugee, and like really is they be very happy. But one person is not happy. If you criticize, then you are not kind of the offended or the disturbed one person, this person. You disturbed all these communities. And therefore, sometimes it's like teachers and like a holy being. Any kind of holy being means it's like some important beings. Do not kind of give a harsh word or criticize. And that is also very important because we are like hurting to the others. And like for example, maybe we can do another's. If there is one parents have maybe 10 children, okay? Maybe parents is very ugly. But it's for the children's perspective, they say it's my parents. It's ugly or not ugly. They love. They don't care it's like ugly. Okay, my father, they love. And then someone's criticized, oh, your parents is very ugly, look, one-eyed, the deaf, blah, blah, blah. You like reveal that these parents, some secret defect. Then you disturbing, you make unhappy, uncomfortable to all the 10 children. And then 10 children say, oh, this person's criticize our parents. We have become angry, sad, like this. And therefore, it's like a holy beings, teachers, and like spiritual friend is quite a very important object. And if we criticize or give harsh word, it's more negative kind of the actions. That is, we should to taking care. We don't need to give harsh word. harsh word is not necessarily to use. And like this, maybe it's like when we become very much angry, to express, I'm angry, you disturb to me like this. Why we need to give harsh word like this. And now it's like a, how to say, it's like a fourth negative action related to the verb. It is like, you say it's like this, quoting the 10 negative actions is the 7th. And worthless chatter, meaningless chatter, like kind of gossip. Worthless means there's nothing kind of coming out positive things. Everything is like kind of the negative, and therefore worthless chatter. Something is like you don't know necessarily to talk like this, but our nature is like when we are talking something others' defects, so very much, we lack very much like this. Then a worthless chapter means talking a lot without any purpose. For example, reciting that one imagined to be Dharma, but it's not such as the writers of Brahmin said. And it's like here is the worthless chatter. And generally we are talking about worthless chatting, like kind of the gossip. And it is like only the revealing some secret defects others. Not only that, for example, a little bit kind of the sarcastic way, or it is like meaningless. There's no purpose, like any kind of purpose, like without any purpose. It to say is like something is like when you recite mantra, follow up the like kind of the rituals. Like sometimes we say like this. It's like in India, like maybe Hindu systems. There's some Brahmas and Shiva and so on. And they say it's like, maybe it's the same as the Buddhist, same as the Dharma. For example, in Europe, sometimes you say, God is the meaning is the God is same as the Buddha nature. As the Buddha nature is Godless. It's like this. Then you are kind of the mixed. It is like we have like this. Yesterday, all the time is analyze it. Like, how do you say it? We are talking times. For example, if I say it's like, these traditions give more education. It's like this. Others, they not much give education. Yeah. Don't say like this. They give education the same as your size. Or they talking about the compassions like this. Yeah. But any other spirituals, they talking the compassion. What is the difference? Oh yes, then as others are talking about the Buddha nature, pervasive. Yeah, this is like but in other traditions, the creation of God is like same as the Buddha nature. What is the difference? They also is a pervasive, everything. What is different? This sort of like you are against it. And how do you say it's like like there's no purpose, but you want to against it. Other one to say is like this, and yeah, but it's like this. Maybe it's like someone to say, okay, you follow up the written of the Brahmas and the Ishvaras, and some is like no Buddhist. You say, this is the same as the Buddhists. And then it's like, therefore, for example, in the Buddhist perspective, there's same as the holiness, religious harmony. It is very important to respect all the religious, because religious giving education, and when we study the different type of the religious, and we can to clarify our own path, we can receive a lot of information. Then afterward, how we can to follow, how we can to settle our own path, we can to follow or not. We have like chance. And therefore, any kind of religious to get the knowledge is wonderful. It is nice. But then it's like your own, you choose, you connect. Maybe some it's the spiritual path for you, it's very relevant. Maybe it's very happy. Maybe it's for you benefit. Maybe you're also the favorite. And in this situation, do you need to stop, Yura? Yura? What is? Huh? Ah, okay. And how to say it? And this kind of a worthless chapter, and we don't need to against it. Sometimes it's when we are meeting, when you are a bit together, families. I want to change very much. That is, and I'm now living in how do you say, in Europe. I'm now Belgium, and our Europeans is like mentalities. When we be the families, when we in the meeting times, when we are like conversations, sometimes very much difficult. Why? If you say someone gives suggestions, then say, yeah, yes, the but, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yes, the but, blah, blah. Then there's all the times challenge. And then it's this kind of worthless chatters and the slowly argumentation, emotional things. And finally, I saw there is a disagreement, lot also coming. For example, if we really to follow up the Dharma, if someone gives suggestions, and you first time is to accept it, okay, yes. And then if you need to correct, slowly to correct. Yeah, that's like this, but the maybe slowly, other ones not really. How do you say? It's not become the worthless chatter, and also to make others happy. It's like someone says, like, let's go this, and no, let's go that way. Then it's all the times like there is opposite, very difficult. There's one is like our family, two sanghas went to in India. The first time they have very much good ideas. Let's go to there. Yes, they arrange everything. Then they arrive in Delhi. And they say, oh, let's go to this restaurant. Other ones say, not that one. They argue, finally they fighting, and then they were separated. And then they own way, and come back, what is your friends? I don't know. So we cannot cooperating together. So this is the truth, because it's like, if you really you have the humanities, to sharing. Today you give suggestions, maybe go this way. Tomorrow you give suggestions, well, let's do this. And also the meeting, talking, any kind of better to keep don't do the worthless chat. Others say something slowly to listen. For example, someone's practicing the Brahma's ritual things, and then it's what are you practicing? Ask to them. You say it's I'm a practice Dharma. You don't need to say. I'm practice Hindu tradition, Brahmins. Other ones say, yeah, why not? You say it's I'm practice Dharma. Actually, you are practice some Hindu tradition. What is the different? If you say like this, then this is the worthless chapter, like this kind of. And also it's like talking about the aimless, about the subject, aimless. That means it's like a kind of no connection, no kind of thinking about the consequence, about subject that the stir up attachment and the hatred. It's like kind of sometimes you meet in times, and also it's like together to talking about worthless chapters. And it's how to say that, to stir up the attachment, hatred very much. In Tibet, there is idioms. There is two lands. It's called the Njathong and Pathong. Both is a very open, very large value. Both is. But someone says Njathong is bigger the value than the Pathong. Pathong is biggest. Then in the Pathong, there's two persons coming together. They make tea and the lunch. And then they say, I think Njathong is one person saying Njathong is bigger than the Pathongs. Other ones, no. Pathon is bigger than Jatons. And then slowly, stir up the disturbed emotions, hatred, and then they argue, and finally they killed each other. And like this is, in Tibet we say, do not argue like same way than Jathon and Pathon say. Like this, sometimes it's like worthless chapters during the meeting times, during the coming together. We should to taking care this kind of, because it's like a worthless chatter against it, and to be challenges, it's a stir up the attachment. You're like the kind of state, that like statement, or the like you what you give suggestions. You hate it to the others, like say something, and then it's like finally there's a kind of aimless and like kind of the worthless, and then it's like a finally consequence is such a negative occurring. And like talking tells about the positude, and like kind of the sign libidinous songs. I think it's like this is maybe it's adjective, maybe noun is, I think it's libido. And libido means it's like a very much kind of the like a sexy kind of the song. And also it's like talking about the positude, this sort of, for example, maybe someone's meditating, maybe someone's a little bit recitation, maybe someone's like maybe want to hear about the Dharma, maybe but you stopped and talking about that kind of positude, maybe talking about like maybe it's like a libidinous songs, and what do you think, certainly open the music, like this kind of discussing the robbery and the wars. Robbery means it's like last time is I thieved some very funny words, and then others stop. Okay, tell me how you did. For example, once is I was in Sudan, and in the Sunday, it's like police is around, and they says, Mike, there's one Suji guy who says, Rinpoche, today there's a big problems with one companies. And then we are listening, it's very excited things. They arrange, it's a very professional thief. And Sunday, everybody is a holiday, of course. And they took that one police helicopter and come to in the bedding on top of there and make the small bomb in the the roof, make a hole and enter into the companies. They took all the money, whatever and then the helicopter went to in the more in the near the Kiruna, in the more in the north, and the one forest. They put the helicopter there. All the money is they gone. They don't know who it is. And then we are talking about, wow, like this. Maybe some young people, you talking like this, and maybe let's do like this, professional ways. If you then it's like a kind of this robbery, and or sometimes wars. Wars means it's like when we look at the warriors. I'm awful. I don't like a modern world, but in the ancient worlds, it's like a kind of the armor they're wearing, and they're carrying the weapons. And like I would say, it's like Italy's, Roman Catholic, or Romans, the armies they're making the wars. It's like kind of the excited. And sometimes it's like you talking like this, then others people's like mind is very much disturbed. And also sometimes to making the negative influence. And therefore, it's like this kind of the aimless, meaningless, worthless chapter about talking about positude, liberateness of songs, and discussing about how to robber, burglaries to make, and wars, this kind of. And also here is in the particularly to the disturb people's prayer or the recitations by the distracting them with a float of the useless word is especially harmful. And of course, that is we say it's like worthless chapter. Means it's like maybe someone's praying, maybe doing something puja, someone's recitations, reciting mantras, and then you go to near there to disturb, making the distracted. Oh, there is the words. Maybe this certain Manipimur. What happened? Can you tell Mr. Manipimur? Oh, yes, there is something. And then this person's completely distracted. And maybe you can to say, it's like, go near, there is someone. Oh, yesterday there's robbers came. They're very professional. They did like this and like this. Then it's like kind of the chummy, sexy things, this kind of talking and music, these things. Then other ones recite the mantra, but already mind distracted. And then it's like you disturb to this people's mind. And this is also worthless chapter. And we need to taking care and to this harming these persons. It's like the mind. Since it is the prevented them from the accumulation merit. And then it's like the persons doing the prayer, recitation mantra, maybe circumambulation, and maybe study, or maybe different doing the Dharma activities. If you go to there to disturb, to making the like kind of the distracted mind, and then you prevent kind of to give big obstacles to them. It's like making, in order to make an accumulation merit. And these things also we need to taking care. For example, someone's doing like virtues, Dharma activities, maybe better don't go there to talking about worldly things. Maybe if you go to there to maybe together to recite mantra, together prayers, and to showing the respect like this, and to rejoicing, you're doing something, accumulating merit, wonderful, and like this, and and maybe it's the virtuous coming together. So. I think there is one Tibetan. Do you have Tibetan text? No, but it's like without this, only in the Tibetan. Yeah, young the combabs, it's like Napsent no. Mancha naso mavan, mavate on ronjan to combat. No, chow. No, chow. Chepa katon diju chepa sola. Te dog san yusun jupin damage. Tom mombo. Tom mombo. And damage tom mombo. Mava nurse. Mava no. Give a change to chopper in Binipachu. I think there's missing. Lepatanas. I think this maybe is Masha, she made a mistake, or in the I need to check. No, and this song. Chundana thought is happy. Chun the Roshi single. And there. Dotaji thought you pick your children. Do and the chidiums. On a bad chidam. Torto. Doa. Okay, we need to stop. There's one, I think is sentence is missing. I need to check. Maybe Masha we done something or it's sorry, can you stop? Okay, half an hour. Because Masha, we need missed theirs. Huh? Or 10:15, say.